Well, hello and welcome to a new series that I'm starting, which is called Python Explain, which is going to be me creating a series of tutorials on basic Python facts that I've been learning, and hopefully doing help you guys understand it better, so I can get a better understanding by helping you understand, and you can probably learn something new. So today's lecture will be very simple. All I'll be doing is giving a brief rundown about Python, why it was created, what type of language it is, who created it, and when. And then two very simple programs: one printing out a basic message, and the second one saving a function, or which basically a second program which adds two values together and then prints their output. So first, what we're gonna do is, what is Python? Python was created by the Dutch programmer Guido van Rossum in the year 1991. He created it to be a quick ABC language, which means that it has easy to understand syntax designed to replace the other simple language of the time, such as BASIC, and communicates with the OS better and is a lot quicker and faster than the previous programming languages that preceded it. Several versions, quite a few versions have been released since 1991, with the latest version as of 2022 being 3.10.0, if I researched that correct. Python is a C-style language, meaning its syntax is very similar to the OG programming languages such as C++, Python, and Java. However, unlike C++ and C, it is not, or even Java, it's not a compiled language but an interpreted language, meaning that its code is executed line by line, unlike compiled languages which execute a whole block of code at once. So this is basics of Python, and now I'm just going to show you a very basic program. This is so you guys can get an idea of how Python works and what you can do with it. So first we're going to do the basic hello world. So there's a function hello world print, right? It takes in a value hello world. It saves that as a variable or something that can vary in value, and is in programming is designed to store a particular value in the program's memory. And now what it's doing is taking the string hello world and then running a function on it with that value of the input of the value parameter we passed, and then printing it out to the console. So now I've just printed hello world, and if we do execute, you can see here the program hello world, the statement hello world has been printed. Now this is cool and all, and even when I first did my first hello world program, I was pretty excited, like, whoa, wow, what can I do with this? However, if you want to see, there's a lot more that Python can do, and I could give a brief explanation of that right now. So let's just start with this. I'll explain what functions are in detail later, but right now I'm going to show you. It's very similar to the print function, so we're going to say find add numbers, which, like the print function, takes two values in. And what it does, now function can take an input and then it processes that input and returns the output. So now the process is going to be adding these two parameter values we got here to a third variable, which is called C. C will be equal to the sum, or the values that we pass, of A and B. And then what it simply does is return C. However, we can do that. I mean, if I do print add numbers 1, 1, right? And then I execute. So you can see 2 is here. However, I'm not very happy with this, because what if somebody doesn't really know Python and he still wants to add two numbers? I want to help that guy out, use my skills for that. So luckily there is another function which, like print, is used to take values from the user instead of giving value to the user, which unironically is called input. So let's do this. I'm creating another variable, and then what it does is equal to the value we hard code the input, which is the function that takes value from the keyboard of a user. So we got two variables here, A and B. We input them, and then we do the add numbers. Then we print add numbers A small and B. Meaning that now what's gonna happen though, wait, let me just prompt the user first. So this is designed just to help the user experience go better, so that he knows what to do and how to use the program you're giving him. So enter number 1. Doing this is not necessary, but it can be helpful. It's a good way of using Python's tool to create better applications that a user can understand. And this is technically a very simple application. So enter number 2. And that way though the user can help like give the values he needs, and we can give him the output that he needs. So then we do this. Ooh. Oh, sorry about that. Some old habits that don't die. Don't worry too much. That is so weak. Oh, yes, forgot to add a parentheses here. Now let's run. You can see here, because the values that we're entering into print and returning into add numbers. So this is interesting. So we're entering values here, and that returns the value here, and then that return value we're entering again into the print function from the add number function, which will then subsequently output it. So this is a little neat way of using compound function, which is what allows programming languages like Python to do so much. So if I see here, right, beautifully, it's telling me to enter number 1. I'm going to enter it. Enter number 2, enter it, and there you go, just like that. Now if I want to make it a bit more user friendly, I can concatenate both or add both text and numbers into it. So I can say the answer is, now we have created a way of getting two numbers from a user, storing them, adding them, and then promptly printing out to them what the value is. 12. Ooh, right. Wait, this is something I'll explain later, but basically we're converting this both to the type text so that the user can use it. This is another function which takes in a parameter here with our C value and then converts it to string. So then we do it here, enter number 1, and then boom. So this was just my little basic Python tutorial. I'll go into much more detail on some concepts that were covered here if you're confused, and you could refer back to this. But this was just me showing what Python can do and how programming languages like Python work. So I hope this was helpful and you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.